Now, good afternoon, students of class 9th. In previous video, we have studied about economic importance of bacteria. Now, in this video, we are going to study about fungi and their importance. Now, question is what are fungi? Singular number is fungus. Fungi are the living organisms which are more evolved than bacteria. Why we are saying this? They are more evolved than bacteria because in bacteria you have studied bacteria is a single celled living organism, and in it the nuclear materials are not covered by means of nuclear membrane, and you know that all the cells in which the nuclear materials are not surrounded by nuclear membrane are known as prokaryote. This is the condition in case of bacteria. But in case of fungi, the fungi may be single celled, for example, yeast, or it may be multi-celled. And the cells, whether it will be single celled or multi-celled, are provided by means of well-defined nuclear, that is nuclear materials are covered by means of nuclear membrane. And such type of cells in which the nuclear materials are covered by means of nuclear membrane are known as eukaryote. So you have seen here that bacteria are single celled living beings and they are prokaryotic, but fungi may be single celled or may be multi celled, and they are always eukaryotic. On the basis of these 2 points, we can say fungi are more developed than bacteria. These fungi are kept in kingdom fungi according to 5 kingdom classification system. In starting, the fungi were considered as plants, but according to 5 kingdom classification, the fungi are kept in the kingdom fungi kept in the kingdom fungi, and they are not considered as plants. Why? Because they do not contain chlorophyll. Now, next heading in this case, fungi are of different types. For example, molds, mushrooms, toadstools, yeasts, etc. These are the different examples of fungi. Molds, mushrooms, toadstools, or yeasts are the examples of fungi. Now, fungi, what is the structure of a single fungus? What is the structure of a single fungus? I am going to explain the structure of multi-celled. For example, here Rhizopus. Rhizopus is a multi-celled fungus. Now, Rhizopus consists of large number of fine thread-like transparent structures, which are known as hyphae. Singular number is hypha, and these hyphae of any fungus develop on any suitable substratum. Suppose this one is bread. If this bread is kept moist and it is kept in humid climate and slight higher temperature, after 3 or 4 days you can observe this bread may be covered by means of white cotton-like structures. These white cotton-like structures are actually the hyphae of molds, that is Rhizopus. Clear? Now, the rhizospores, that is single-celled structures of Rhizopus, they remain present inside atmosphere in large number. After falling on suitable substratum, these spores will start to germinate to give rise to large number of thin, transparent, tubular structures which are known as hyphae. In this way, the hyphae are developed from large number of spores. On this substratum, that is bread, large number of hyphae you are observing here. Some hyphae grow horizontally, covering the entire substratum, Such type of hyphae which grow horizontally on the surface of substratum are known as prostrate hyphae. But there are some of the hyphae which enter inside the substratum, for what purpose? To obtain their nourishment from this substratum. Some of the hyphae develop inside the substratum. Such type of hyphae which develop inside the substratum to obtain their nourishment are known as rhizoids. Those which grow on the surface of substratum horizontally, they are known as prostrate hyphae. But those which grow inside substratum to obtain their nourishment, they are known as rhizoids. Among these large number of hyphae, some hyphae start to grow upward. Containing cytoplasm and large number of nuclei. This growth will be continued in this way, and such type of vertically upward growing hyphae are known as sporangiophore. Clear? Are known as sporangiophores. Just you have studied cytoplasm and large number of nuclei also move. The cytoplasm is collected in the tip due to collection along with nuclei. Due to collection of cytoplasm and along with nuclei, this tip portion will slightly swell, and this swelled portion is known as sporangium. Suppose in this cytoplasm 5 nuclei are there. Cytoplasm will also break into 5 pieces, smaller pieces, and each piece, suppose this one is nucleus, each nucleus is surrounded by a small piece of cytoplasm. In this way, if any nucleus is surrounded by cytoplasm, then that will convert in the form of cell. So we can say in this sporangium, large number of cellular structures are formed, and these cellular structures which are formed inside the sporangium are known as spores. Clear? So how you have seen here how spores are produced by fungi. In starting condition, when these spores are not matured, they remain whitish, and sporangium will also appear whitish. But when the spores are matured, they will convert blackish, and the entire sporangium will also convert into blackish. This complete mass of prostrate hyphae, of rhizoids, and of sporangiophore is known as mycelium. Again listen, the complete mass of hyphae, including prostrate hyphae, rhizoids, and vertically upgrowing sporangiophore, gives rise to a single structure, single term known as mycelium. Now here you have seen inside sporangium large number of spores are produced. When the spores are matured, then sporangium will burst, and these spores are released inside atmosphere. Since these spores are very lighter in weight, they are very smaller in size, so easily they can be carried by means of wind current from one place to another. After falling on any suitable condition, after suitable substratum, again they will germinate to give rise large number of mycelium, and this process is repeated. In this way, you have studied the structure of a single fungus, you can say molds or mushrooms, and you have also studied that how it performs asexual reproduction by the formation of spores which remain present inside atmosphere, and after falling on suitable substratum, again they grow to give rise new plant. Now next term is nutrition. Just you have studied some hyphae grow inside the substratum. There they obtain their nourishment with the help of rhizoids. It means digestion takes place outside. Generally, fungi absorb glucose, that is simple sugar, but inside substratum, if the carbohydrates are present in the form of polysaccharide or in the form of disaccharide, then these polysaccharides or disaccharides are converted into simple sugar, that is glucose, and by the action of enzymes, and then they can be absorbed. That we can say rhizoids can absorb only glucose from the surrounding. Clear? And next one more point is that is respiration. Fungi respire aerobically because they are found on the surface of soil, but there are some fungi which respire anaerobically. For example, yeasts respire anaerobically. Clear? In this way, we have studied the structure of fungi, their types, their asexual reproduction, and their nutrition and respiration. Okay, next video we shall study about yeasts.